welcome to a new season and a new episode of Tom's Geeky Garage. As you can tell, we got a little bit of a facelift. We recently reached 1,000 subscribers, so we needed to do a little update on our music so we don't get any copyright claims and things like that. So I wrote that little piece of music there, and now that's our new intro, I guess. Anyways, so on today's show, what we're going to do is we're going to be taking our real Ghostbuster style Kenner proton pack that we designed a couple seasons ago, and what we're going to do is we're going to put lights inside this thing, and it's going to be quite difficult because there's really not much space inside of here. We're going to try to put lights in the pack and also lights inside the wand. But before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe to this video if you like content like this. Also, go check out our Patreon. A lot of cool merch over there. You can get STL files early, and you get to see the shows early. And recently, we also started a Shapeways store, which you can see the description for all the links for all these things will be in the description. But we got a new Shapeways store where you can go over and actually purchase things from the show if you don't have a 3D printer. But if you do have a 3D printer, go check out the Patreon. You can get the 3D files there. It's all good. So anyways, let's get started on this project. Alright, so what we did is we had to start out with the files that we had made on the previous show. Now, the main goal was to fit, obviously, like all the lights and stuff in here. So the first thing we had to do is figure out how to hollow out the shell. So I basically just kind of cut out a generic hole out of the back of the shell and then started to figure out how to make all the parts fit. Now, the parts we had to fit were a battery, we had to fit in a switch, and at least one LED into the shell. In an actual wand, we had to fit one LED. So what I did is I basically cut out the center, and then I made a lens insert. I guess I'd call it like a lens. It's basically a thing that the LED will hook into, and this is what will send the light down to the actual windows that are in the cyclotron, so you can actually see them glowing. I also had to think of an area for the switch because the switch needs to be on the pack somewhere, but I didn't have much room because almost every place in this pack was taken up with either the battery or the LED. But I found a nice little spot right here where the pack has the little hook that where the trap cord actually hooks. I decided to use that little trap hanger as the button itself, so you'll be able to push that and then turn on the actual lights. There's not really much more to this. The wand itself, we had to go in and just basically hollow that out and give it a little area. We made it into a two-part kind of setup. So the wand's basically made up of two pieces, and the pack itself is made up of 3 or 4 pieces. There's the backing, the front, the button, and the little lens that helps the LED light. So now that we have basically all the 3D kind of roughed out, we're going to go over to the printer and start prototyping the pieces. As you can see here, I've had to print out basically, I don't know, 4 or 5 different versions of this before I actually got it right. This was our first one, and this was our basically just our test print, which was to see, if it was going to work, just a basic first test. And one thing that we look for when we're doing our first 3D prints is seeing if there's any areas of the print that failed to print. So this one, the corners kind of peeled up. So we knew to basically on the next round to add more supports to the areas that might pull, and we check to make sure that nothing is too thin, make sure that everything has a good thickness to it. So we did another one of those. This test was basically just to see if the battery would fit into this battery area that we made. And then after that, we moved on to like our more final tests, which were these ones, which was like we finally started using the colored resin. This one, we were playing with the support structure, if we can add more support structure, but we added too much here. This was about 95%, and it was too hard to clean out. So that leaves us with our like kind of our final bit of pieces here. So these are all the old backings that we tested out. and some of these old lenses. But I want to just show the parts that we're actually going to use here. So, like we showed in our let's see if I get this. So this is the main pack shell that we printed out. You can see the back has the area for the battery. We have the area where the lens for the cyclotron will go. We also have the area for our power button and our lead that will actually lead out to the proton gun. So the wand will have lights too, so we'll go through there. And then this is the pack mount for the wand itself, wherever the handle is. Here it is, the handle. There's a pack mount for the handle to go into, so you can store the gun. On the side there, we have the back plate, which you can see has the Tom's Geeky Garage logo on it and the date. And this is not really much to this. It does fit the Kenner figures. It's got the Kenner mount, and this will connect to the back of this guy once all the electronics are put into it. So you can see that. Right? Okay. Let's get that out here. We have made these lenses. Now these are the lenses for the actual cyclotron, I think is the name of that piece. We redesigned this a few times. Our first version of it was like this, and it was just missing. I noticed that some of the areas where the supports would actually glow more. So basically, we redesigned it so there was little supports that actually went around each of these lenses. So when the light is on, it'd be much brighter. So we can. You can see that. Now you can see that each of those lenses are a little bit brighter than the rest, which was kind of the goal with the lens. Alright. And then we have the wand itself, which you can see has an LED in the core, and then the cord comes down through the handle. And then we have the second piece that will actually go on here. That will kind of hold it all together and become the same exact wand that we had before. So we have the wand, we have all the components. Well, let's talk about the electronics actually real quick. Electronic wise, we have LEDs. Now these, this was like an assorted pack. I think I got these on Amazon for $7 maybe. I don't know, it's, I think it was like 50 LEDs, 10 of white, blue, green, amber, red, super bright. That's what these guys are. We have watch battery. I actually pulled this watch battery out of this remote because I didn't have any batteries, but you can get these at the grocery store, I'm sure. And yeah. And then we have this small little micro switch. So the micro switch, let me show you how this is going to go together here. So in our main shell, we're going to take our lens, put our lens in first, like so. You can see the lens there. Put our lens in first, and then after the lens in, there's a little section right here for that button to lay. So it'll be glued in right here. Get it to snug in here. There we go. Kind of see. It'll be like right there. It'll be glued in tight against this wall, and once it's glued in place, you'll be able to click it, and that will turn the lights on. So anyhow, so that's kind of a tour of all the pieces. We have the
focuses. We have the main pack, the pack back, the lens. This is just an extra lens. So we only need one. We have the button, the wand, the handle for the wand, the LED, and the button, and the battery. So we're going to take these components here. Oh, and this is actually a button extension. I'll show this later, but it's the button. Kind of pokes out on the side of the wand here. So I'm going to basically go ahead and get all this stuff wired up and painted, and then we'll come back and show you what the final piece looks like.
Alright, so now we have all the pieces painted, and they look really good. They look pretty close to what my original one looked like. The only difference here is the pack is just a little bit thicker because we wanted to give a little bit of room for wiring and stuff. But other than that, the pack looks almost exactly the same. And you can see the lights work. They all look really good. I really had a struggle here with like getting the light to only come through the areas that we wanted, since we basically printed this with pretty much clear resin. So I had to put a lot of coats of paint on it, and luckily it came out still looking pretty good. Anyways,
what are you looking at?
I hope you liked the video. The pack came out looking really cool, as you can see here. I really like this project. It's really cool, and I would love to put this up on my Shapeways store, but I need to get with them to see if they can actually print things in clear and set it up so you can print these pieces in clear, because if they weren't printed in clear, I don't think it would work. But I'm going to look into that. So remember to check out our Shapeways store if you need Ecto 1 doors like the ones you can see. But wait, over there. If you want to get replacement doors, we have replacement doors over there on our Shapeways store. We also have the original pack here, replacement pack, if you want to buy and purchase some of those. The links for the Shapeways store and our Patreon are both down in the description. Go check both those out. It'd be real helpful to help out the show and stuff. So anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.